Blinding Lights, I love that track. It's just gone 20 minutes to 1 right now. You are listening to The Sunday Show. Hello, and happy 1st of December to you. It's Kelly here with you until 2. And joining us in the studio live today is the amazing Claire Clements, who runs an organisation that strives to empower children. She's the author of a book called Put On Your Positive Pants, and she's making it her mission to help children grow up feeling confident and ready to take on the world. It is lovely to have you with us today. Thank you so much for coming in on a Sunday, Claire.
That's all right. It's nice to be out and hopefully see some Christmas lights while I'm driving home later.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So let's start with you then. Where did all this come from?
So Positive Pants kind of started back in 2018. It actually started with the idea of actual pants. So that phrase, put on your positive pants, was something that I felt people could really relate to as a metaphor of, you know, when you're kind of having one of those sort of hard days, that you put on your positive pants and it makes you feel a little bit better, acts as an anchor. So I actually created actual pants with positive affirmations on them, which were, they were very popular, sparked a lot of people's imaginations. But for me, it kind of felt like it was more of a way of life, a kind of a message that I wanted people to deliver, that actually young people, you can find the ways to help you through the tough times. We don't necessarily need to be going to the doctors all the time. Sometimes that's needed, but actually there's so many things that we can do to help ourselves. And that's really sort of behind the message of Positive Pants.
And when you started it, what sort of did you find when you were out there and you were helping people? What are sort of some of the issues that young people are facing?
I mean, there's so many, isn't there? And, depending on the age groups that you work with, I tend to work with children from the age of 6 all the way up to sort of late teens. So it's a really widespread, amount of things that people deal with. It could range from, particularly the younger people not being able to really express what their emotions are, not having the words for those emotions, a lot of bottling things up. That can be in teens and younger people, not feeling that they want to bother people with their issues, and actually not knowing how to approach certain subjects. They could have been going through grief. Obviously we had lockdown, which was a massive thing. It could be just actually that their behaviour is sort of spiralling out of control, or they're suffering with different worries and concerns, but they're absorbing everything that's going on around them all the time, and they need help to regulate and to manage that.
Absolutely. And often we are so busy as well as mums and dads and grandparents and whatnot, and trying to sort of just keep everything going, that we don't always see what's going on in that way. That can be difficult. We need to be aware of it too, and I'm a big believer in this, have those open conversations on a regular basis, with that door wide open, so they can talk about their feelings. And because often they don't. I know my daughter's 11. So she's in her first year at secondary school. She's dyslexic, and I think she's found it way harder than she's letting on at all. And she's one of these where she's like, I don't really want to talk about it. And with me, I'll just spill my whole guts, like my whole life. And she's a bit different, and I worry. I'm constantly tapping into that, and I think it's difficult as a parent sometimes, because you can't make them tell you.
No, and it's being aware of that, and as a role model, the fact that you're opening up and being like that, even if your child isn't quite doing that at the moment, is a really good thing. And I'd encourage, carry on doing that, so they can follow by example. But yeah, I work with a lot of children in year 5, year 6, and helping them with that transition to secondary school, because that is a really difficult time for young people. The primary schools typically are quite nurturing spaces. The teachers have got the time for them. They build up a really good relationship with their teachers. But in secondary school, it really does come as a shock. And if your child is one of those children who, does struggle with their emotions, has got other different things going on for them, they can find themselves kind of feeling quite lost and almost, not without voice almost, or not knowing who it is that they can speak to. And that's where the work that I do comes in, as a one-to-one coach and mentor, because actually I can have those conversations and be that sort of middle person, which helps the parent and the child and brings it all together.
Yeah, absolutely. Empowerment is so important as well. We know as adults, that some of the stuff that's happened to us when we're younger affects us when we're older as well. And if we understand from a younger age about stuff and we do feel stronger and more confident, then it's going to help us later on in life. We know how it's just so important, isn't it, really?
Yeah, because it's that early intervention and prevention. Yes. And for me, that's why I actually started up my business and my work, because I, as a young person, sailed through, nothing sort of untoward's happening. But when I was a teen, it all suddenly came out and I didn't know how to deal with things at all. So I had a real crisis point for me. And whilst, we can't stop young people from having these challenges and experiences, what we can do is teach them early, some good techniques that they can carry with them through life, so that they know that there is another way, rather than feeling completely helpless, and that there are people that they can talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk about your gorgeous book in a minute as well. But at Christmas, we're all sort of stressing out, but often we don't realise that actually it can be a little stressful for younger people as well, can't it? There are different challenges for them too.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, if the household is stressed, the child is going to feel that. What I kind of, my experience of happening is that actually where you're sort of as a parent running around trying to make everything absolutely perfect for your children, as we all do, just be aware of the child in that moment, rather than just looking at Christmas as a whole, because actually they might have something going on for them, but they don't want to bother you because they can see that you're busy and stressed. So those opportunities that you might normally take to sort of have conversations with your child might sort of get put aside a little bit with all the busyness of everything going on. They become overtired, overstimulated, overexcited. So there's a lot going on for a young person, and they might not feel that they're able to speak up. So, try to factor in some time over Christmas to just sit and have a hot chocolate and cuddle up and watch a film. Those moments are more important than going out to the shops and buying all the presents.
Absolutely. Oh, I second that so much. It's so true. We just get sucked into all of that, don't we? Before you go, love your book. It's a bestseller on Amazon. Put on Your Positive Pants. It's a beautiful book, isn't it? So tell us a little bit about that and where people can find out about it if they'd like to get a copy and find out more about you as well, Claire.
Yeah, so the Put on Your Positive Pants book was created really so that everybody has access to some of these wellbeing techniques from an early age. So it tells of a story of a little girl that wakes up one day feeling very sad, and between her and her mum they find different solutions of what they can do to boost her mood, which is really, really important. It talks about young people, it talks about some hidden conditions, health conditions. The mum has got type 1 diabetes, so she's got her pump on display. So it's a book that's really inclusive, and hopefully it's a book, maybe that time that I was saying, when you sit and read with your child and really have some good conversations. That could be the starting point. You can get it on my website, www.positivepants.co.uk, or on Amazon, as you said.
I love what you're doing. It's amazing. It really is. It's brilliant, and it's fabulous to talk to you as well. And I think we can all take things from what you were saying and just, take that time to slow down sometimes and check in with our little ones.
Absolutely.
Also, it's so important. It's great work that you're doing. Thank you so much, Claire.
Thank you for having me.
And have a lovely Sunday and a lovely festive afternoon, hopefully. Yes, and a lovely Christmas. The amazing Claire Clements there from Positively Empowered Kids, an organisation which believes positive encouragement can lead to positive mental health. And that book that Claire has written, which is lovely, Put on Your Positive Pants. Okay, it is 10 minutes to 1. You are listening